welcome to some of my friends read comics. We got Vince.
If I were lying, I would have used a bigger fish.
We've got Chris.
Ready to plorp your way on the plorpiest adventure of all plorp?
Oh, it's a plorpy adventure. All right, my name's Kia. Welcome to the show. We're gonna plorp it up. We got some Silver Surfer going on here. We'll talk about that as we're going. We're doing the Dan Slott and Mike Allred reboot from 2014. Is that right?
Yep.
I think that's right here. And of course, we're continuing / starting our long read of the Ultimates. We're on issue number 2, and I think the story is starting now. For the most part. We'll get to that at the end of the episode. But Silver Surfer, we have read one issue from this run forever ago. It was like an Eisner-nominated issue. We did like an Eisner potpourri thing. That was forever ago.
I feel like it was our first year. I was like, let's do the Eisner books every time. And then they ended up being really hard to find. And so we did like best single issue. I don't know if it won or not, but it was weird because of like, and it was actually really hard to read digitally because it like looped back around and stuff like that. I think you had to like turn the book upside down and read the rest of it or something. It was really cool.
Something like that. Yeah. But we decided we wanted to take a look at that whole run here because we like Dan Slott. We like Mike Allred's art. I don't think anyone cares about the Silver Surfer. Is there anyone out there who's like the Silver Surfer's my favorite superhero? I don't think anyone.
No,
the Silver Super.
I mean, I watched about half of the new Fantastic Four movie, and I was trying to explain to my kid like yeah, this character is created in the 60s. That's why there's a surfboard. It doesn't make any sense, like in today's modern context, why you would have a silver surfing alien. Except like it makes sense like in the context of like 60s Beach Boys culture. Like otherwise it really doesn't. Although my daughter was interested because I think she just likes like strong women, like the girl Silver Surfer.
Right, it's a female Silver Surfer in the movie, right?
Yeah. And she's the girl from like Ozark and Inventing Anna and Weapons. She's good in it. She did scare my daughter a little when like she was chasing the Fantastic Four through when they were going like faster than light through space and it went through their ship. She's like, I'm out. So we had to turn the movie off. But
I was about to ask, why did you only watch half? So there we go.
She was like, you know what, this is a bit much for me. Which, you know what, credit to little 7-year-old. She's like, I'm good. I don't need to see this anymore. So
yeah,
she didn't
I remember that with Ernest Scared Stupid. Yeah. Couldn't do that one.
I still like my wife recommended me that to watch that this Halloween. And I'm like, I'm not watching Scared Stupid. That movie's terrifying.
That's terrifying. You can't watch. Nobody can watch that movie. Those trolls will come out and get you.
I think Ernest Goes to Jail is scarier because it has an evil twin Ernest.
What?
Yeah, that's the whole point of Ernest Goes to Jail.
You're absolutely correct. I do remember that one. He is evil too, and that did like. It rubbed me the wrong way as a kid for sure. Because I'm like, no, that's not Ernest. What?
Does he have like a dishonest name? Like he's not Ernest. He's like liar or something. Like no, okay.
I don't like. Yeah,
I don't think his name was Liar.
Dishonest.
There was a Jim Varney documentary or something that came out kind of recently. We're already getting way off topic here.
You asked, is anybody's favorite superhero Silver Surfer? And we were like, you know who our favorite superhero is? Ernest.
He saved Christmas.
He plays Mr. Nash, is the evil Ernest. Felix Nash.
Ooh, that does sound pretty bad.
Hold on. Are there any Ernest comics?
I tell you what.
If there's not.
No, actually, but anyways, I liked the Silver Surfer comics that we read leading up to Infinity War and like Thanos Rising and stuff. Like I thought that was pretty cool. Or Infinity Gauntlet. Like, but I don't feel like the concept of Silver Surfer like lends itself to very long, or it's like those kind of meandering space issues of Swamp Thing that I really didn't like. Like that's what I worry about when I read a Silver Surfer comic, and that's why I'm not usually picking them up.
That's fair. That's fair.
It is crazy that series from the 80s lasted until like 1997 or 1980. It was like 130 issues or something. Crazy. Like it doesn't seem like there's that many Silver Surfer stories to tell.
No. I like this one though. Spoiler alert! I think this one's fun.
Yes, I think this is like Dan Slott can be hit or miss with me. I loved his like She-Hulk, but even like his humor stuff, like I liked most of what he would do with the Great Lakes Avengers, but then he would do like one thing where I'm like, that's too far. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But his general sense of humor, I think, mostly works. His like kind of style of injecting humor into comics, it's pretty good. But yeah, let's get into the. I guess, do we need to know anything about the Silver Surfer? Okay, in case you don't know anything about the Silver Surfer, he works for Galactus, or at least he used to.
He used to a long
He used
time ago.
to. And his job was to go to a planet that Galactus was about to eat and tell everyone, "Hey, Galactus is coming and he's gonna eat y'all." And basically just to like make sure everything was chill for Galactus to come and eat the planet. Is that the gist of it? He's got the power cosmic.
Yeah,
and to like find good places.
Yeah, he found good places. I feel like in the new movie, like my kids are like, what is he the bad guy? I'm like, not really. At least in this like Silver Surfer's like, look, y'all got like 10 days to live, so like I don't know, like live it up, go party because Galactus is coming. Like, that to me seems like a good message. Like it's gonna be over. Like just quit your job, go on vacation, do something fun. Which I'm like, oh okay. Like I can't stop this, but but I don't think Silver Surfer always does that. But he does feel bad about his past, so he's like that kind of hero that's like, oh yeah, I was kind of bad in the past, but I'm trying to be good now. And then
but he doesn't. Yeah, let's go ahead.
And then there's a plot point that he, I guess, got trapped on Earth, which I had already forgotten about after the first Galactus story.
We read that storyline.
Yeah.
Both the one where he gets trapped and the one where Dr. Doom steals his power, tricking him into thinking he's helping him.
Yep, we did do
We
that.
read that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that
We both read that and then had a follow-up story where we were told we read that. And I forgot that too. And here we are, like, because it's going to come up, like, in, like, the third issue of here, like, oh, yeah, I think we did read that. And Chris had to explain to me because I'd already forgotten that I'd read that twice. So here we are.
Yeah, there's something kind of forgettable about the Silver Surfer, I guess. I don't know. There was something else I was going to say about all his stuff, and I have literally already forgotten it. So let's just jump into it.
And do we? I'm sorry. Again, one more.
Yeah.
We I don't know if we explained Mike Allred. We love Mike Allred here. He did we did his Future Foundation, which I get a lot of vibes from here. It's probably a very similar year, like maybe 2 or 3 years later. He did.
I think 1 year later.
Yeah, I don't feel like that book lasted very long. But I love the art of it. He did Ecstatics, which is a book that I really, really like. He created Madman, which is like Freakazoid. What else did he do? He's done like so many different like comics over the years. iZombie, which they made like a CW show of, that was pretty good, but his art's fantastic in that comic. He's always got this like kind of cool like pop art style. And so I feel like this book is very like Allred forward. Like I don't know how much is Slott and how much is him, just because Allred has like a very distinctive art style.
For sure.
He has such a sort of like retro style. I mean, it made sense when they made the FF book, and he did the art for that. And in the same way with Silver Surfer, it is very like Jack Kirby in some ways.
I'm looking at what he's done recently, and have you seen DC Black Label? Have we talked about this at all?
That's like the new branding of
the new Vertigo.
Yeah, basically.
He did a Batman and a Superman comic. He did Superman the Space Age and Batman the Dark Age, which I'm semi curious about.
That sounds really good. I was at a friend's house and he had like a David Bowie like comic biography, and it was drawn by Allred, and I was like, this looks incredible. Just like a David Bowie biography by him. So
wow.
Yeah.
A David Bowie biography by Mike Allred.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I'm into that. All right. Any more preamble?
No, I think that's enough preamble.
That's it. All right, let's do it. Silver Surfer #1, Dan Slott, Mike Allred. We start with Dawn Greenwood. Is that her name?
Greenwood, yes.
She got a twin sister named Eve, which, I'm never a fan of parents giving their kids names that are too similar, but Dawn and Eve, I think, is pretty good names for twins, honestly. Works for me.
Yeah. Well, they're not the same. They're not like both like A and A names, but they are like sides of night.
Right.
So, like,
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. So I like that. But Dawn is our main character. She is We're kind of starting 12 years ago. We start with a tiny little flashback of them as little girls. Dawn is wishing upon a star, and she wishes for the star to burn as bright as possible and to never die so that everyone can make a wish on it. Whereas her sister wishes to like go see the world and all that kind of stuff. Which ends up being kind of a thing between them. Her sister is always kind of out there looking to explore the world and be everywhere, whereas her sister is more like, nah, I'm just gonna stay home, stay where I'm at, kind of thing. Turns out they're not wishing on a star though. It's the Silver Surfer, and he's evil at that point. He's like, fucking destroy everything. But that was 12 years ago. And flashing forward to the present, the Silver Surfer is good now. He's helping people. He helps the whole planet, with some problem that they're having. And they're like, oh, my God, we love you, Silver Surfer. And they're erecting statues to him. And he's like, I don't want that. I just wanted to help. And a couple of these little robots come up to him. And they're like, hey, we're transmitting your victories. And like, you're great. We need you as our champion. And they kind of summon him to this this planet. What is this whole planet called? I didn't write that down. The interport.
Yeah, it's this planet that's basically just
the
like
Empyrean.
The Empyrean. It's like a hodgepodge of just like all these different like it looks like the Thor Ragnarok Sakaar planet, but it's like basically like a bunch of like shops and different buildings that don't make like architectural sense, all like blended together on one giant planet and a bunch of different cultures. But it's also hidden from Silver Surfer, so he can't see it, so Galactus can't find it. It's pretty cool.
That kind of thing. And this whole planet is being run by a guy named Zed, not Lord Zed, but he is the lord of this planet, so we might call him Lord Zed. He is the leader of this planet, and he has summoned Silver Surfer because he's like, hey, we need a strong champion to go fight the Never Queen. Because she's like coming to get us, and we've sent other champions out there and they haven't succeeded. And he's like, wait, what? So they want Silver Surfer to go out there. And every time they like recruit a champion to go after the Never Queen, they also abduct some insurance for themselves and like abduct a loved one or something like that, so that there will be some stakes for the person who's fighting. And so they're like, all right, hold on, we got to do this. And they abduct randomly Dawn Greenwood from planet Earth because apparently it is the person who's going to matter the most to the Silver Surfer. It didn't 100% make sense to me, but, she did wish upon his star. I guess he matters to her in a way, and she matters to him in a way, but they don't really know it, It's weird.
There's a lot going. Yeah, like I think it's just like a random human. Because like he has love for all living things on Earth, especially Earth. Mm-hmm. So like that, they just picked a random human, and that's like he doesn't even have like ties to like an individual.
I mean, that's not why.
It's not random though, yeah.
And I thought it was random.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Explain.
Oh, you want me to explain?
Yeah, explain it, Chris. You're the explainer.
Well, I mean, so in the story, we saw that she wished, and her dad was like, that was very kind of you. Most people wouldn't think of the actual shooting star itself and what it wants. But it's like, no, he's going to fall in love with her in the future, Vince.
Oh, okay.
It's because time doesn't mean anything, and they're in the impossible no way place.
Okay. Mm-hmm, well, then that does make sense. All right.
It's not just random. Like they even by the 5th issue, did you really think like they were not going to fall in love with each other?
No, I did that, but I didn't think that she mattered to him across like time and space.
Yeah.
And
I don't know like a time traveler's wife situation.
Right, and I didn't know
it is.
Okay. I didn't realize Lord Zed was outside of all time and space as well.
He
that was the kind of thing that tripped me up.
Yeah, he does have that time stick.
Yeah. The Edge, is that what it's called? From U2?
He calls himself Cope now.
Well, yeah. That's a wrestling joke.
I do love though, because like they call like one. I love that they call it the motivator, which is the thing that they're going to kidnap from space. Kidnap and like so then you have like stakes, so you won't quit when you realize you're going to lose to this thing that we're going to try to kill. And then I just love the panel and the word balloon where it's like, I said I'd be your champion, man. Like, you don't need to add more stakes to this. Like, this is dumb. Like, I already agreed to this. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It does immediately make Silver Surfer be like, these guys are probably the bad guys.
Yeah. So Dawn is working at her dad's inn, the Greenwood Inn. And at some point, she just kind of randomly gets abducted into a room. Also, like all the previous abductees, insurances, what do they call them? Motivators that have been abducted are all still there. Which, like, why? There's no, like, you don't need to keep them there anymore. There's no one for them to motivate. The people they were meant to motivate have failed and they are dead.
I guess
Let them go.
Well, I don't know if you want to send them back. Like, yeah, I got kidnapped and my brother's dead or whatever. Like, I guess they didn't want to.
And they weren't cruel enough to just like launch him into space or whatever. They're like, no, we'll just hold him, I guess, until we figure out what we're gonna do.
They're not monsters. Yeah. Well, wait, they are.
Yeah, so we kind of see glimpses of a few people. We got Plorp in here. Plorp's great character. We've got Battlejack's dad. Who's Battlejack's dad name? Battle something? Battle Lawn? Battle...
Yeah, it's like Battalion or something. It's close to that.
Yeah. And he's like, where's my son? Where's Battlejack?
It is funny when, in the next issue, when Silver Surfer's like, old man, I'm like, how do you know? He just looks like an alien to me.
Yeah. So we get like Lord Zed showing Silver Surfer like, this is who we've abducted to motivate you, and it's this girl Dawn, and he's like, I have no idea who that is. That's where issue 1 ends. It was a pretty nice setup issue.
I do like Silver Surfer's list of like supporting cast is so small that he's already like by the end of the list like Mantis. Where you're just like, no, dude, it's not Mantis.
Anything else to say about the first issue before we jump into the second?
I thought we were going to the second issue.
Well, pretty much. So
he did guess Alicia Masters before that, which would have made more sense.
Issue 2, we start off with another flashback to when Dawn and Eve were kids, twins in the school play of Snow White, where one of them was the magic mirror, the evil magic mirror, talking to her, and they're arguing, that kind of thing. The magic mirror will come back, in a sense. It's not super important, but it's a fun little, way to tie things back. We have all the captives, all the motivators are being fed, and Battlejack's dad, Battle Lawn, that's his name. He's like, I'm not going to eat until I'm free. Give him back my son. Dawn is a vegan, and they bring her cheeseburger, fries, and milkshakes. Shaked milk, they call it. No, this is what we're told humans like to eat. And I was like, yeah, but I'm a vegan. So they bring her some Zapper apples from the planet Vega, because they're like, well, that's the closest we could find to the word vegan. We don't know what that means. The alien Plorp, who at first was only speaking in Plorps. I think he does only speak in Plorps, but like there's something about these room that let them all speak and understand everybody, which again seems unnecessary for captives, but it's very nice of the aliens. And Plorp really loves those Zapper apples, even though they give him acid reflux. And his acid reflux that he spits is, very powerful. And Dawn has an idea. Like, is it powerful enough to, burn down some of these walls? And it turns out it is. Feeds him some of the Zapper apples, and he starts puking up all over the place and burning down the walls. And they're like, all right, let's get some more of these Zapper apples. We're going to bust out of here.
Amazing.
Meanwhile, Silver Surfer goes out to fight the Never Queen. And during their fight, she shows him every possible future, that kind of thing. He sees falling in love with Dawn. He sees the future foundation. He sees fucking everything, and he also sees that the Never Queen is actually not evil. It's that Zed guy stole her heart. Her heart has already been cut out, and her heart is being used to power this whole city that this guy has built. So that's why she's going back after it. And he's like, yeah, okay, so they're the bad guys. Got it.
He also pretends to accidentally shoot out their like surveillance equipment. He's just like, "Oh, you can't hit me, Queen." But who am I to talk? I keep accidentally shooting these surveillance cameras.
And yeah, he knows that also, like, if he goes back there and he hasn't defeated the Queen, then they're gonna kill Dawn. So he's got to like find a way to disguise himself, and he ends up putting on Battlejack's armor because he's just floating out dead in space. And he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna take this armor so that I have something and I can kind of hide the cosmic power so they don't know it's me." Meanwhile, Dawn and all the other prisoners are escaping, and they're running around looking for escape pods here. They find the reactor core, which is this giant heart of the Never Queen, but they don't really know that. And eventually, Silver Surfer gets back there right as they're all escaping, and he gets to Dawn, and Dawn's like, "Hey, who are you?" They kind of find him lying there. And he's like, I'm Norin Rad. And she's like, "Oh, cool. Do you need rescuing? We're on our way out of here." And it's like, wait a minute, hold on. That's not what this was. Anything I missed in here? I think that's it. Yeah. Issue number. Why did I close my file here? I need that file so I know what's going on. Issue number 3. Sometimes when I'm doing digital comics, I forget if I have them all in like one-off files or if I have a big old trade of all of them. This one I have a big old trade of all of them. So I gotta not close the file and just keep the file going. That's how that's inside baseball. Is that what y'all say? Is that a sports?
Inside, it's
yes.
Peek behind the curtain.
Peek behind the curtains. All right. So
So was the Never Queen created for this book?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, she seemed like, more of a been there all the time kind of deal.
Yeah, and she's part of Secret War, right?
It looks like it. It looks like she shows up a lot after this book. Although Secret War, I think, is 2015, so it's like a year later. But she ends up like in the Ultimates, and she ends up in like Fantastic Four and Scarlet Witch. Yeah, I think she's like the Lover of Eternity, which we have seen Eternity before, and is in like Thor 4 as well.
Yeah, Eternity's been around forever.
Yeah, so I was like, where's the Queen of the Nevers come from? I guess she's new for this book. Interesting.
Yeah, we start off issue 3 with kind of seeing that she and Eternity have some kind of a love situation going on there. We got everyone's together now. Silver Surfer, Dawn, and all of the prisoners. But Battle-On recognizes Battlejack's armor that Silver Surfer is wearing, and he's like, "What the hell, vengeance!" And he goes and attacks him. But Dawn gets him to stop, and they kind of talk through things and figure it out. And Silver Surfer, like, is kind of talking to Dawn about this whole situation. Is like, "Hey, I'm your hero. Like, I'm your champion. That's why you're here." And she doesn't quite understand, but they're figuring it out. At some point, also the surfboard kind of comes in front of her. Oh, that's right. Silver Surfer leaves his surfboard kind of outside the orbit of this planet, so that they won't recognize that it's him.
That's why he had to put on. That's why he had to turn into like human form, or like
right.
non-silver form, or whatever they call it. And that's why he's wearing Battle-On's armor, because otherwise he couldn't survive in space.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Professor X.
He does. I really like this gag though, that everybody was following the big brain, but he kept getting he got them lost, and he's like, I'm a big brain.
Know this place.
Like, I really like that. It's a good gag.
It's a good
gag. So.
Yep.
Mr. Migdala was his name.
Mr. Migdala, that was a good name.
Yes.
So Silver Surfer, talking to Dawn, like, puts on his cosmic power back. Because he's talking about how he needs to find the heart, and Dawn's like, "Oh yeah, we saw the heart," and they go back there, and Silver Surfer puts on his cosmic power, and Dawn's like, "Whoa, you're so shiny," and they are going to take the heart, even though it's giant, but it's infinitely big and infinitely small, and size doesn't matter, is what Silver Surfer keeps saying. And we get the heart, but we get the heart in like toy monkey form with symbols.
Sure.
And so Dawn is, yeah, why not? Dawn's carrying around this little toy monkey with symbols for the rest of the issue, and that is the Never Queen's heart. Also, Lord Zed. I shouldn't say Lord Zed. His name is not Lord Zed. Zed. Zed has like a dude in a cloak, a cousin to the dude in the shadows, the dude in the cloak, who is telling him like, all right, well, yeah, I guess you've got to be the champion. Here's your edge blade thing that came from an impossible place, and you're going to use this to kill the Never Queen. So get on out there. So he's out there trying to fight the Never Queen. And while he's out there, they see the planet is kind of starting to fall apart. And he's like, oh my God, my planet. I got to get back to Empiricon, save that. This guy's really obsessed with his little planet that he's built. Silver Surfer sends out a message to everyone who's staying on the planet saying, hey, destruction is imminent. Y'all got to get out of here. And, some people are like, it's a hoax. And I was like, yeah, I'm paid up for 5 more nights. I don't know why I like that gag. It's like, I'm on vacation, man. I'm not leaving. And Silver Surfer switches his tactics. And he says, I'm the Silver Surfer. We're going to devour your planet. Run for your lives. Everyone gets out of there.
I like that.
Yep. And they head back to the Never Queen. Silver Surfer summons his board. To me, my board, he always says. And at some point earlier, I guess I skipped this, but Dawn had kind of seen her reflection in the mirror and had talked to her. And she called it her magic mirror to kind of tie back to the Snow White thing earlier. And they get the heart back to the queen. Everything turns out pretty okay with the queen there. Silver Surfer fights Zed, and Zed gets... So Silver Surfer gave his power cosmic to Dawn so that she could like breathe in outer space and be fine while he is off fighting Zed, right? Is that the idea? And so he's like, you can't beat me with that without the power cosmic. And he's like, hey, I've learned that bald guys still got tricks up their sleeves. And he pokes him in the eyes and goes, nyuk, nyuk. And I did not expect a Three Stooges reference in this, but I'm happy it showed up.
Yep. As we find out later, Silver Surfer has watched all of Earth culture, so he knows
all of it. He knows everything. I also like that Zed's response to that is a wise guy. Yeah, I'll show you. And he runs the blade through him, killing Zed. And everything's fine. Although Zed's not quite dead. He gets sent into some weird realm where he's talking to Eternity, where I guess Eternity was the one who was in the cloak talking to him.
No,
is that not? I didn't get.
Eternity says, I'm kicking you out of Eternity, basically. And then it turns out the guy in the cloak is like, oh, okay, well, then you're going to be like a slave for me because I live in this place that never was.
Oh, okay.
So the guy in the shadows that was helping him, who we don't see who that is.
We still don't know. Yeah, okay. A dude with a shadowy face.
Oh.
And then
let's see. It's a dude in a shadow in a cloak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
The cloak casts a shadow. Cloaks cast shadows.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So then Dawn and Silver Surfer are like, all right, we're done here. It's time to head home. I really like this gag where Dawn is just like, yeah, just you, me, and Toomey. And he's like, Toomey? He's like, yeah, your surfboard. And he's like, you named my surfboard? And like, no, you did. You said Toomey, my board. I fucking love that. Dumb. Some real Marx Brothers shit.
Silly.
And they get out of there. So I didn't expect. I knew we were reading the first 5 issues here for this trade, right? It was 5, 6, 5. I didn't expect the first kind of storyline to be done in 3 issues and to have a couple of like a bonus storyline in 2, but it's a nice tight 3 issues. Like it's not It could have been extended into 6 issues, and I feel like a lot of writers would have extended this into 6 issues, but it didn't need it. It was 3 issues.
Well, it's crazy is even that first issue, it doesn't really feel like anything happens. He just like shows. I guess he like you establish like he helps other planets, but they're like kind of don't love him. And then he's like, and then like Dawn is brought in like at the very end to be like, I don't know who that is, and then that's your cliffhanger for issue 1. So like really like the bulk of the Zed story is like 2 issues, but it's zippy, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and even that first issue, it kind of especially when you're reintroducing a kind of character who no one gives a shit about and introducing a brand new character, like it worked pretty well, even though nothing happened. And yeah, very zippy. But then we got more stuff happening in issue number 4. We got the Guardians of the Galaxy on the cover.
This is like right when the movie must have come out, the first movie.
Well, this is when Bendis is writing the comics and they stink.
And that's also probably true. Like Bendis, I think was like, like lost the humor. This has Star-Lord. It has Captain Marvel in it. The Captain Marvel redesign.
I was, I get that they put them on the cover to kind of be like, hey, they're a big hot thing right now. Don't you want to read this? But I was confused when the first page of this was the Hulk and Doctor Strange, and I was like, wait, are they in the Guardians of the Galaxy right now? Because you never know, And it took me a second just to be like, okay, no, they're separate from all that.
Like Venom was Venom in this Guardians of the Galaxy configuration?
Yeah.
Venom was in this issue.
And is that Flash Thompson Venom?
I believe it is. From the last I read, I think it was Flash Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which really, yeah.
Again, that is some of the humor. Is that like, oh, we're scanning for alien microbes, and like, your friend there is an alien symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that Flash Thompson Venom run. That was fun.
All right, yeah, let's get into the story here. So they, Dawn and Silver Surfer are heading back to Earth, and they get stopped by the Guardians of the Galaxy, who are like, hey, we got to stop y'all and just check to make sure you're not accidentally bringing any aliens in, checking for alien microbes, all that kind of stuff. And Dawn's like, so wait, y'all are basically just like customs and immigration for space? And it's like, no, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy. We're nothing like customs and immigration. So just tell me, how long are you staying, and is it for work or for pleasure? Like, I love that joke.
Yeah, it is a good joke. That it's like, that is what exactly this idea of the Guardians being like around Earth is that they did turn them into space immigration.
Mm-hmm. Well, although after the Silver Surfer and Dawn leave, they do kind of drop that, and they're like, yeah, we really were just checking to make sure that Silver Surfer hasn't gone bad again, isn't actually working for Galactus, and isn't heralding the destruction of this planet.
It does seem like just putting them on the cover, because it's like, what does that have to do with anything?
Exactly. It was just like a fun little way to include them, I guess. So they continue on down. And Silver Surfer talks about how he used to be stuck by this barrier in the Earth, and he couldn't get out of it. And so kind of getting back in, he's like a little bit anxious about it, but it's no problem. But he's telling Dawn about all that.
I'm glad they gave the background. I am so like don't see these things coming. And Chris, I'm sure like, how did you not see it? Like obviously, this shield thing is going to come into play just in a couple pages. Like they're seeding it for you as a reader, so then oh no, it's that thing that he mentioned a few pages ago. I didn't see it coming though.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He gets her back to Earth, and he's like, all right, well, you're home. And she's like, well, not like home. This is Australia. And she starts clicking her heels to make a Wizard of Oz reference, and they talk about that. And he's like, yeah, I know all about all the cultural references. And that's where they talk about how he was stuck there for forever. But they head back to...
So in Marvel time, he watched The Sixth Sense and Star Wars and what else did he watch? And Citizen
Rosebud,
Kane.
Citizen Kane, yeah.
Wizard of Oz, he knows that one.
He knows everything. He's got all the references. So he gets her back home to Massachusetts. Cape, what's it called? Anchor Bay is where she lives.
Cape Cod.
Yeah. And... she, like, as they're heading back, they see like a fishing boat or something out there, and as they're like flying away, some tentacles grab him and like drag him underneath.
They also see like Jupiter's moons are like all in a row, like aligned.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Is that supposed to happen?" And he's like, "No, but I'm not going to look into it. It's fine."
Yeah, he's like, my only priority is getting you home right now because I'm your champion, and then we're done. But he does sense that also something is wrong with that boat with the tentacles. He's like, wait a minute, did something? I don't know.
I do like the visual images of him just like surfing, like on a beach. It looks good. I just like how it's
you know, you don't often see the Silver Surfer just using his surfboard as an actual surfboard
in water. No, it looks good
in water. Yeah. So they get home, and Dawn's twin sister answers the door, and Silver Surfer is like, "Whoa, watch out, it's a Skrull." Which I, again, also really like that joke. And Dawn's like, "Well, hold on, don't y'all have twins where you're from?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm just running into more Skrulls than twins, you know." So they talk
They
things
don't have
through.
to have the same haircut.
That's all, yeah, you would think they would have different haircuts. But we haven't talked about it. Dawn always wears a polka dot dress. Eve wears a yellow striped dress. And that's how you can always tell them apart.
One's a bee and one's a ladybug.
One's a bee and a ladybug. And basically Eve, the twin sister, has returned home because Dad was worried about her, and he needed some help running the place, so Eve got back there. Dad sees them. They all say, "Hey," and he's like, "Cool, let's have a little celebration." They invite some family members over, cook a big dinner, that kind of thing. But also, like, in the middle of that, there's always these kind of weird scenes of like, okay, everyone's leaving, and now the couches all have like snarling mouths on them. And like, there's constant little things like that throughout this issue that's like, hold on, what's going on here? Like, something's definitely off. Silver Surfer reveals that he does not have to eat. He can eat, but he does not have to eat because it's more efficient to just absorb the food kind of that way. And Dawn's like, well, you're not doing that to the seafood bisque. Like, power down. Take off your silver stuff because you've done it before. I saw you do it, and I want you to eat regular because my dad worked hard for this. He's like, okay. So he eats everything. Some nephew was like riding around on the surfboard in his underwear, which seems like a thing like a little nephew would do.
I do like someone was like, "So are you naked?" And he's like, "No, I told you, I'm wearing a protective sheath."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're all like, no one gets it. And he's like, how do these people know nothing about superheroes? Like, we're so fucking important. And she's like, I don't know. Like, some people don't care about politics. Some people don't care about sports. Like, I don't know. None of these people know about superheroes. He's like, but I've like fought with the Fantastic Four and the Defenders. And they're like, they just don't give a shit, man. Sorry.
Like, I do like the realism of that because like, it is baffling when you talk to people like, how do you just not pay attention to any of this? Like, I guess they just don't. They're just,
yeah.
Something's on TV, doesn't affect them.
They live on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Why
really
would
more of a New York problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ultron takes over the world, he takes over the world enough times, you kind of get bored. You're like, whatever, I guess. Again? Yeah. All right. Well.
Right. He's not going to start in Cape Cod, so it's fine.
These lobsters aren't going to catch themselves.
Yep. So Silver Surfer, depowered down in his human form, is tired because he's just eaten, and he's like, "What the hell is going on with me?" And Dawn says, "You're Logi? Is that Logi? What Logi?
Logi. Yeah.
I feel like I haven't really heard that word. Logi.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like it's more. It's mostly associated with like after Thanksgiving. It's just like food drunk.
Oh, this is our Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, yeah. Good tie-in. Friend of the show, good. Thanksgiving. We all like to eat.
Silver Surfer ate so much, he took a nap.
Yeah.
Be careful, because that nap could spell evil.
Nap almost destroyed the world. Silver Surfer takes a little nap, and he's passed out. Dawn and Eve are talking, and Eve is just kind of real bummed out about having to be there. She would really prefer to be traveling. She just kind of hates being back home. She's like, what the hell? Like, I'm so fucking bored, that kind of thing. They really have a difference of opinion in terms of how to live their lives other than their haircuts. Meanwhile, okay, I mentioned that Doctor Strange and Hulk were at the beginning of this episode. We didn't really mention the circumstances. They were fighting a bunch of old-timey villains, and some old guy was like, "Oh, I haven't seen these kinds of villains since I was a baby," and it's like Dracula and werewolf, whatever. And they got to head out to get to the source of this, and they are heading to Greenwood, to the Greenwood Inn. They kind of hitch a ride, and they're in disguises, spectral disguises. Silver Surfer wakes up, and his surfboard wakes him up, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, all right, I'm up. We should get out of here. I'm done. Return this girl back home. Let's go home." And he flies up to get out of Earth, and he's blocked by the barrier. He's like, "Ah, shit!" And that's the. I don't think he says shit. He says no, ba-bam, as he tries to punch it, and he can't get away. So that's the cliffhanger for number 4. And then our last issue, number 5 here.
I will say, like, I know, Vince, you have an anti-alien bias. This issue, I was like, this is a really good issue. Like, this really grabbed me, whereas I was enjoying it fine, but I was like, this issue is great.
Yeah. It's really good. Like, I mean, it's good slice of life. You're doing, like, Silver Surfer is like a fish out of water, but then he's also, like, relating well to the family. Like, he does, like, his own... Like, he does a Tin Man from Wizard of Oz impression. Goes, "Oh, can," and it, like, kills with the future father-in-law. Like, he loves it. It's a great joke. But there's, like, fucked up shit in the background. I love the just kind of, like, beach house art style with him. Like, it's, like, atypical for comics and really kind of atypical for, like, Allred. And it just looks really, like, peaceful. Like, the kind of, like, beach house. It's, like, it's really pretty. It's a good issue. And then Doctor Strange and Hulk are like in the background doing stuff. It's great too. It's all around really good issue.
Yeah, I really like that we know this is setting something up because something weird is happening and Doctor Strange and the Hulk are coming, but we also don't really know exactly what's going on because this is also sort of almost an epilogue for the first 3 issues, but it's also sort of a prologue for everything else that's coming. It does a really good job of kind of balancing that line a little bit of getting them to know each other a little bit better while figuring out what the hell they're even doing here, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So issue 5 starts with Silver Surfer saying, "To me, Don Greenwood, now." And he's like, "What did you do? I can't get out now, and like demand to know what you've done to me." And she's like, "The fuck are you talking about? Did you really just say to me, Don Greenwood?" She's like, "Fuck off." She closes her window. It's like, "Get out of here." Which I really liked. Again, very, very nice realism to all this in terms of how she would actually react.
You know what?
And she
We're
says,
done tonight. You figure it out, and we'll talk again later. We're good.
Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not leaving home again for sure. I just got back." Meanwhile, Doctor Strange and the Hulk arrive at Greenwood Inn. I live very close to Greenwood Cemetery. I think that's what it's called. I'm getting all these names mixed up. So Greenwood, I'm like, well, is that it? That can't be it.
I keep getting confused with like Lee Greenwood, like the Proud to Be an American singer. That's where I'm like, wait, no, that's not it. It's a different character.
I was at a wedding once, and I heard that song playing during the dance, and I was like,
really?
God. I was like, this is
not
my kind of wedding.
What a first.
No, it was not the father-daughter. No.
I love that they like wearing these like disguises though, and like immediately they're seen through. Like, I love that.
Yeah, so they get there and they're like, "Oh, we got to keep a low profile." And Silver Surfer flies out of the home, and they're like, "Hey guys, what are y'all doing here?" And everyone's talking about how he's like, "Oh yeah, it's my worst nightmare. I can't get out of here." And apparently, it's everybody's worst nightmare. It's what's happening because everyone on Earth is asleep and is having a nightmare, and everybody's nightmares are coming true. Is what's happening. And they're like, "Yeah, it's got to be linked to you, Silver Surfer." Go ahead, Vince.
Well, and then they show the Lord of Nightmares with the lunar alignment, and I'm like, and for a second there, I'm like, this looks a lot like the Sandman Morpheus from Sandman, but I'm like, I don't think he crosses over with Marvel. Did he? No.
No.
But for a second there, I was like, this is that. No, it wasn't that though. But I would
It's
like
that
it.
same kind of vibe. Yeah.
It's the same vibe.
Yeah. The Marvel Nightmare, he's I think a Steve Ditko creation, so he's older than
Okay.
Okay. So they get back into the home. They talk to Dawn and Eve's dad. He has a name. I forget what it is. He's the dad, you know. And they end up having to check in. And Doctor Strange can't hold a pen because he's in his astral form. So he's like, Hulk, can you do it? And he breaks the pen because he's the Hulk. And Doctor Strange is like, all right, let's just drop all the illusions here. And they drop everything. And yeah, everybody is sleepwalking. Everybody is having a nightmare. And they're like, Silver Surfer, did you sleep at all? And he's like, yeah, I had a little nap after a dinner. And they're like, okay, then it's got to be the girl Dawn. If she came back with you, if she hasn't fallen asleep yet. And they run up to her, and she's about to pass out. And they're like, no, you got to stay awake. You got to wake up because you're somehow the key to all this. It doesn't fully make sense, but it makes enough sense that I'm like, yeah, I'll go with it. That's fine. Hulk tries to wake her up, but Silver Surfer's like, no, the girl is my responsibility. I'll wake her up. And, a bunch of tentacle shit comes up. And the Hulk is trying to hold it all down, punch it all away. Doctor Strange puts the eye of Agamotto on Dawn's forehead so that she can see the truth and everything. And they get away so that they can fix things while Doctor Strange and Hulk keep on fighting tentacles for the most part and trying to keep it at bay. So Silver Surfer and Dawn are kind of starting to hop through dream worlds. They go into her daughter's room where they kind of see, not daughter, her sister's room, Eve's room, where they kind of see that Eve's worst nightmare is turning into Dawn and being stuck back home, not being able to travel. They get to her dad's nightmare that everyone is eventually going to go away. Just like, their mother passed away, just like Eve went away, and eventually Dawn's going to go away. Then Plorp and the other aliens show up, and they're like, hey, and they're like, wait a minute, I think this might be your dream, my dream. No one really knows what dream it is. And then they run into Nightmare. And they're like, okay, we gotta deal with this guy. They somehow end up in room infinity with Nightmare, who's asleep there, and they realize they've got to wake him up. So Dawn tries to shake him awake, tries to kiss him awake like a Disney princess. None of that works. Silver Surfer realizes we can use the surfboard. The answer was with us all along, the reflection, and they use that to reflect the sun.
Toomey can do it.
Toomey can do it, yes. They reflect, Toomey the surfboard reflects the sun into Nightmare's eyes because it's nighttime, but it's like it's daytime, and it wakes Nightmare up, and that clears everything. And everyone's fine. And Doctor Strange and Hulk go home, and Silver Surfer is going to leave, and Eve is like, hey, wait a minute, you got to take my sister. Like, she's definitely, like, talking about that, and I think it'd be, like, good for her. And Dawn says, yeah, I want to go. And so they fly off together, and they're going to have some adventures in space. Yeah. That about it? Anything I missed?
Yeah, that's most of it.
I think that's it. So yeah, that's about the end of it. Vince, what did you think?
I really like it. We used to have this thing where like, will you continue reading? And I read like the next issue and a half. It's her and Silver Surfer in space doing other adventures. They're in space, and she at one point says like, "Can you find me a place to eat, like a planet where we can eat?" And he was like, "Oh no." Like, don't say that. We're not going to eat planets. And he freaks out for a little second. And then which is a funny gag. But no, it's fun. I don't think it's a very long series. I think they're pretty much done within like probably a year or so after this. It has that problem where I'm sometimes not fully following what is happening in the plot, especially like that, like Eternity,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the Queen of Never. I'm like, I'm not sure how this is actually resolving. The art is pretty. I think it's funny. I like a lot of the gags. I'm not fully following the plot, but I'm enjoying the vibe of it. And yeah, I definitely continue reading this.
Mm-hmm. And you only did an issue and a half because your daughter got scared?
Yeah, exactly. She's like, this is terrifying.
All right, Chris, what'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. I think the humor really worked, and it was surprisingly like I find Silver Surfer to be kind of a boring character, but I was like, I liked the chemistry of like having somebody that like doesn't put up with his bullshit of when he is particularly kind of I don't know, imperious, to be like, okay, I'm not talking to you if you're going to be like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was a fan as well. We didn't talk a lot about Mike Allred's art, but I think that, like, as much as I like Dan Slott's writing, Mike Allred's art, like, I just love art like this. It really helps keep me reading a book for sure. In terms of anything, like, there's that more cartoony than most comics, but also I always just like it when a comic looks different, you know. And Mike Allred's art just looks different.
Yeah.
It's also Laura Allred is the colorer, right?
Yeah.
It has a very retro, like it's not true like 60s 4-color kind of stuff, but it has a very kind of like especially like the Hulk looks like he did like in the 60s. Like although Hulk hasn't looked like that in a very long time.
Right. Yeah, I think she often colors for him, if I'm not mistaken. His colors always like they pop really well. Like she just kind of knows how to do it for him. And yeah, it's a really good art style. But all that stuff you were saying as well, Vince, of like just the humor coming through. I think you said that as well, Chris. We all said it. It's just good stuff. I enjoy reading it. And yeah, even when you don't know what's going on, this book has a way of making you not worry about it too much and just be like, it'll be fine. Just keep going.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Anything else to say about this before we go on to Ultimates?
I think that's a good place to end it right now.
Yeah. All right, so on to Ultimates. We're on issue number 2 here. If you remember from our last issue where we read issue number 1, it's important to remember nothing, I think. I don't think it matters what happened in issue number 1. Issue number 2 of the Ultimates, where the story begins. We got Bruce Banner and Nick Fury having dinner in a fancy restaurant in a big tower with big old glass windows. This is our first glimpse of both of these characters. Bruce Banner looks pretty much like you'd expect Bruce Banner to, right? Nick Fury, I think this is our first time seeing the Samuel L. Jackson version of Nick Fury, even before Samuel L. Jackson played Nick Fury, right?
Yes. There's a scene later in this book where they all say who they want to play them. And I remember like they make fun of Bruce Banner for saying like Steve Buscemi's gonna play you, and he's like it's gonna pissy. And then I think, and they may even like bleep a cursing. I think they're like, well, Nick, who'd play you? Like motherfucking Samuel L. Jackson. That's who'd play me. Yeah.
Wow,
So
what a prophecy.
There's weird things that are here. I don't know in the exact continuity of the Ultimate Universe where I think Ultimate Marvel team up has happened, because I don't think Spider-Man fought the Hulk in Ultimate Spider-Man.
No, he only fought him in Ultimate Team Up. Yeah,
which is like for like a year, and it's got like a lot of characters that like get reconfigured, because I think like Daredevil's in that book at some point, and because Spider-Man teams up with somebody every issue, and introduces a bunch of people that kind of goes back on, and I think even this book talks about the Fantastic Four and then doesn't introduce the Fantastic Four for like another like 4 or 5 years in real time. And
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, wait a minute. Ultimate Fantastic Four hadn't happened yet, had it?
Yeah,
like,
no.
Yeah.
And they were kids also. They weren't like adults. But this book strongly implies that they're adults. It's kind of like trying to do world building and then it like walks it back. But yeah. It's probably the first time we've seen Nick Fury. I don't think he'd shown up in Ultimate Spider-Man at this point.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think this is the first appearance of Sam Jackson, Nick Fury.
So he and Bruce Banner are having dinner and talking about how the Hulk thing had happened in the past, but Bruce Banner has not had any Hulk cells in his system for about 12 weeks. He's ready to come back to work and work on the super soldier program again. Nick Fury is telling him that they're going to give more funding to the super soldier program. Excuse me, kind of a lot of good news in that regard. And that, they're putting a lot of extra effort into this whole superhuman program, and they're working on creating a new Captain America, basically. But kind of the catch of that is that Bruce Banner is going to be the number 2 on the project because Hank Pym is the number 1 on this, and he's kind of been working on some of the other stuff. I assume he's talking about Hank Pym. They never officially call him the number 1 on the project because, like, Tony Stark is also there and a bunch of other people are involved. But I think Hank Pym is, like, the main scientist working on the super soldier kind of thing. We see Hank Pym, his wife Jan. He's working on. Well, currently, he's got a bunch of ants making coffee for him and helping move stuff around. But he's been working on some other stuff. Jan already has the ability to turn tiny, we see. We then meet Tony Stark, who I guess we technically met in the last issue, but barely. He's flying around in his Iron Man armor. People don't seem to know that Iron Man is Tony Stark, but also the Iron Man armor is like a brand new thing. But he has kind of donated his Iron Man tech to this whole Ultimates project that Nick Fury has going around. He's got his Jarvis. He's into ladies and alcohol, as Tony Stark is known to be.
I remember really liking at the time, and I still kind of do, the way he comes out of his suit. Like, the suit is like super, super detailed in like a way that like the Iron Man suit wasn't historically for me. It's just like red, like this has like a lot of gears and lights and like different things that are drawn on it. And like the way it comes apart from it, he's got like this like green like lubricant or something on him that I always thought was really like an odd choice. But I kind of liked it back when I first read this, and I still kind of like it. But I've always wondered, like, what is that for him? Like, is that, I always wondered, like, what it is. And then I like immediately he gets out of that suit and gets a martini. Like, oh, this man's a full blown alcoholic. Okay, cool. All right, excellent. We're already seeding that.
Yeah, I didn't give much thought to that green lubricant. I can't stop thinking about it now. What is that? Why do you need lubricant in the suit?
Well, and he's almost
because like, he's getting shocked around.
Yeah, and he's also got like I don't know. Do you need to get like I've heard like you need to put on water under your wetsuit before you put a wetsuit on? Is that true? I don't know. I've never been in a wetsuit.
Yeah, me neither.
And then he's got like dots all down his arms, like how Neo from the Matrix has to like hook himself into things, which is also like I don't know if he hooks into the thing or they just like where it like pushes against his skin, if that's like a permanent thing or not. It's a very, very detailed art choice, which we're gonna get a lot of hitch, and that's why this book gets like delayed to hell and back. But I think this is my first like Iron Man book also at this point. I think I was familiar with Iron Man from some cartoons and stuff, but I think this probably is the first time I've read Tony Stark.
That's very possible. It might have been one of the first times I did as well. Yeah. But he's talking to Samuel L. Jackson about everything, and Samuel Jackson. No, I said Samuel L. Jackson. It's Nick Fury, but you know what I'm talking about. He's talking to Nick Fury about just kind of the details of all this program, how they've got different people on board, blah, 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 and how Tony Stark is kind of giving the whole thing credibility for being part of this. They talk about this Thor guy in Eastern Europe, and they're like, hey, have we gotten him on board? Like, we'd rather have him with us than against us, But they're trying to get him. Anything else they mention? I think that's pretty much it. Then we get to Bruce Banner arriving to this whole thing. Jan Pym picks him up, and they're about to run some tests with Hank Pym trying to become Giant Man for the first time. And they talk about how 60 feet is like the max for a human to be able to support their own body weight, so they have to stop like just before that. And they start running this test, and they're all worried. And like, oh my god, everything like the lights are going out, the power's blah blah blah, but everything's fine. And Hank Pym has grown huge. He is 59 feet 11 and a half inches. I don't know how they know that because he's crouched down, but they know.
They
they
That's
know.
hilarious. The body also knows that it needs to stop growing. They argue that, and like, no, your body knows it will stop growing. Which I don't know if that's true. I don't,
Yep.
like it's not like a Segway where your body's kind of like, oh yeah, let's pick this up. Also, like they knew he was gonna be 60 feet. Why are they doing this in enclosed? That's a great question, Kia. Like, yeah, he's 59 feet. Like his goal.
You just proposed a great question. I thought you were saying great question about the question you just posed.
Well, no,
it
you
is
had
a great question
about like how they
we
know
both
how
had
tall.
Great questions.
How they know how tall he was, but two, they were going for 60 feet.
Yeah, why'd they put him
with
in a
a
tiny
concern
room?
that he might be bigger?
Yeah, weird.
They should be doing this outside.
Yeah, Nick Fury cheaping out.
Get taller ceilings, man. So Bruce Banner is kind of a little jealous of what's going on throughout all this. We skipped talking to Jan Pym. She was like, "Oh, hey, I know you ended up marrying Betty. What's her name? Betty Ross. I almost said Betty Brant. That's the wrong Betty. Betty Ross." And he's like, "Yeah, we're separated. She got like a self-help book and dyed her hair pink and moved away." And so he's a little butthurt about kind of everything that's going on. He's number 2 to Hank Pym. His wife is gone, all that kind of stuff. But he's talking to Nick Fury, who says, "Hey, don't worry, crack a bottle of champagne. We just fished Captain America out of the Arctic Ocean. Oh my god!" And that's the cliffhanger. Yeah, really good first issue of the Ultimates, I would say. Sets up a lot of stuff.
This is the second issue, unfortunately.
Yeah. I like even after, like I know we hated the first issue, and like after reading the second issue, I'm like, why did that first issue exist? Why? It didn't need to be there at all. You didn't need it. You lose nothing.
I think there's probably some mentalities that this book doesn't have like any action for like 4 years.
Yeah,
it's a slow burn.
That's true.
It is very slow, and that this is the second issue. Like this is, there's some pacing issues I think in these first 2 issues where I like this issue. I agree with you, Kia. I assume you were gonna say you like this one better than the last one.
Yeah.
But I like this better because it's actually setting up the team. But it is like nothing happens.
No.
Yeah. Would have made a lot more sense in the first issue.
Well, it's writing for like I've never not read this book like month to month, and I did read Ultimates 2 month to month, and it was fun to talk on the internet. But like, man, nothing happens. It's all like real slow burn, and like
I mean, it would be like
for a book.
Yeah, it would be like if you just watched the part of Jurassic Park from when they get to the park to like the end of the tour, and you're like, boy, this is looking great. Yeah. Where you're just like, yeah, I know there's gonna be more to this, but it's just like this is just setup.
Yeah, it's a lot of setup.
Go
ahead, Vince.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying, I forgive it more because it's like the Ultimate Universe, and because like, all right, we got to see where everything lays here. We got to reintroduce everybody, and because of that, I wanted more differences and not just like, hey, here's like a real recap of everything these characters have kind of been through in the regular Marvel universe, but like kind of like boiled down to a tiny little bit and just made simple to start off with. And I kind of wanted a little bit more difference out of all that. But it was still like enough for me to just be like, okay, we're resetting, and I see everyone's kind of individual motivations, but Hank Pym growing big and finding Captain America, they're not great cliffhangers just because I know that happens,
Right. I didn't know that happened. I wasn't even familiar with that because this was like my introduction to the Avengers, like completely. So I didn't know that he was going to be found unfrozen or anything like that because I wasn't familiar with is Avengers 4? I wasn't familiar with any of that at this point. Only one I was really familiar with, honestly, was Bruce Banner of any of these characters. And I liked the take that he was like snivelly and like petty. I liked that take on him. Compared, because I'm used to him being like Ed Norton or Mark Ruffalo, like, oh, like I'm a good guy, and sometimes I turn into a monster. Like this guy's like, no, the monster, like that. There's a really good like silent panel where like he sees like Hank Pym getting some credit, and they just show like the Hulk, like kind of like brewing inside of him, and I'm like, that's really cool. I like that. I like what they done with Bruce Banner for this book.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's probably my big takeaway from this is like, okay, well, Tony Stark seems cool, but also kind of like, problematic. And then Bruce Banner's a good take. And then I now know who Hank and Jan Pym are, who I wasn't familiar with, obviously, before this book, because I just wasn't familiar with Classic Avengers.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I was super familiar with them either. But again, reading this 20 years later, I'm like, I have different opinions on it, I guess.
Well, and to be fair, like I have the same problems with like the Avengers 1 movie. Like until like Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man get together, I just don't watch that movie. I just skip to like an hour ahead when they're all three together. I don't care about any of this setup.
Yeah.
In further viewings.
Yeah. I feel like me and Vince have both given our final thoughts for the most part. Chris, what do you got?
So I agree it's better. This would have been a okay issue 1, but it also needs like some kind of seeding. I guess the seeding is supposed to be the like, oh, Bruce Banner is a toxic nerd. No one likes him. That's seeding that he's going to be, turned back into the Hulk. But it's just like, I would like there to be some kind of setup in terms of like, is like the president in favor or against this? Is there like, we find out in later Ultimates that like Iraq is involved in like making their own superheroes. Like I would like something that's not just like, yeah, here's all the heroes. They haven't all met each other, so we're just taking our sweet time with that.
And
I would like to.
Yeah.
There's also no villain yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would
why
like to
are they?
seed some kind of villain that we could deal with.
I something you said did remind me. I thought it was really interesting that they mentioned George W. or George Jr. I don't remember what they said as being the current president, which is always interesting to me in comics because sometimes they do like an unnamed president. Sometimes they do a specific reference to what's going on. I think this being kind of like the Ultimate Universe, like, hey, we're in the here and now. They were like, no, it's George W. That's the president right now,
Well, and Tony Stark dates I think he dates Shannon Elizabeth later, from like American Pie. I think he mentions that.
Yeah.
He mentioned some other names. Yeah,
I know Janet dates Freddie Prinze Jr. at one point, and it also, like this is, I like Hitch's art. The photo references are crazy, especially because they didn't have permission.
Yeah.
So they're just like, we're just gonna draw Samuel L. Jackson, like.
I believe the deal, like I can't remember the exact specifics. I read an MCU book that it was like that, like, don't sue us, but if we ever make a Nick Fury, you get first offer. I think is how like they're like under the table, like don't sue us. Worked with Samuel L. Jackson's people, so
that's fair. Yeah, not bad.
It worked out for everyone.
Yep.
You're absolutely right though, because like, and that is a big problem with this book. And I'm sure if I'd read this monthly, like, and been on the internet, because it's that quote I always love from Always Sunny, like, who versus, like, who are we versus? And then like jumping ahead, like the first like 7 issues, the only thing they're gonna fight is the Hulk, somebody in their own fucking team. So like. Like, we don't even, like, who are you fighting? Who do you exist for? But maybe that's also, like, the point, like, we're, like, that maybe Mark Miller's saying, like, we're building up this army to fight nobody. We're just spending money on shit. But it is, like, a frustrating...
It sounds like a Mark Miller kind of thing, yeah.
It's definitely a Scotsman criticizing American culture, much like Grand Theft Auto. It was a 2000s thing to do. So there we go. I do like some of the character setup, but yeah, it's a slow burn.
Yeah. So it sounds like our overall final verdict on issue 2 is still not great. Better than that first one, though.
Yeah.
Great. So I think that brings us to the end of Ultimates number 2. Of course, next time we're going to go on to Ultimates number 3. We'll see if a villain is introduced, but from what Vince said, sounds like nope. And we're going to, our main read is going to be Grant Morrison's Animal Man. We've read some Grant Morrison on the show. I don't think we've read any Animal Man on the show, have we?
We read the New 52 Animal Man.
Oh,
Jeff Lemire.
Yes, you're right.
And
You
Travel
did.
Foreman, I think, was the artist. I really liked it. It ends up overlapping with Swamp Thing. So that was a cool book. We're not reading that, though. We're reading Grant Morrison's 80s Animal Man, which I feel like you had when we lived together.
I did. I love Grant Morrison. I think he's just one of those super imaginative, weird as hell writers, and his Animal Man was great. I know we've read his Doom Patrol for the show. I don't know how much of his other stuff. Like I know he did his All-Star Superman,
JLA.
I liked his X-Men as well. And he's hit or miss for a lot of people, but I like him. So we're doing the first 5 issues of Animal Man. I think the first trade has 9 issues. That is way too many. We're just doing 5. But we do have an option for number 6. Vince was opposed to number 6 because it had a Thanagarian on the cover, and he was out.
It says Buddy's gonna meet the Thanagarians, and I immediately was like hard pass. Even though I love Hawkgirl, I don't love the Thanagarians.
Fair. So yeah, we're gonna read the first 5 issues, and maybe some of us will read number 6, but we'll talk about the first 5. Who did the art on these? I didn't write that down at all.
I didn't write that down at all either.
Who did the art on Grant Morrison's Animal Man? Let's find out.
This is great. Y'all, we'll see. Can y'all fans get to it before y'all
Chaz Trog? Trug?
No.
I've read all of this and I've never heard of this artist.
Chaz Palminteri.
Nope. It's Chaz. This is honestly, it's kind of sad when the wiki has your name in there and it's not like a link, you know? Oh, that's sad.
It looks good.
I'm sorry. Though. Yeah, I always remember liking it. Chaz Trog. I'll make a Wikipedia page for you.
Let's do it. I love this cat. I love this cartoon cat.
Cartoon cat?
Yeah.
Oh, on the cover?
No, and I'm reading the issue now. He
has cool it. We're not at the next episode yet.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
All right. We'll get to that cool cat next time. Cool Cat Chaz, we're going to call him. What else do I got to say? Is that all the business?
We got plugs?
That's next time. Before I get to plugs, making sure I got all the business. Is all the business done?
Yes.
Yeah, we got next time figured out. All right. I guess it's plugs. Chris, what's the Your Stupid Minds podcast up to?
We are putting out we are finished with our Halloween episodes finally, and we are reviewing one of the worst movies of 2025, although there's probably worse movies, but a disappointing movie, Snow White 2025 with Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler.
Oh, I already forgot that. I was like, they made a Snow White. Oh yeah, the Disney Snow White.
Yes.
Gal Gadot was in that?
She was
the queen.
She was the evil queen, like that we saw in Silver Surfer issue number 2 with the mirror.
She was born to play.
Yeah. And the girl from the Hunger Games prequel, and I think West Side Story.
Yes, West Side Story.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's there's one good new song and like 5 more songs.
Oh my goodness. So like, y'all done a lot of these like Disney like remakes lately. Like y'all did the Pinocchio one also by Robert Zemeckis.
We haven't done a lot, but we did do the Pinocchio one, which was particularly bad. This is better than that.
Okay. All right. That's good. Okay. I'm eager to listen. I think my daughter watched about half of it and they got scared. So,
Wow.
Or maybe
sounds like your daughter's got a real problem.
Yeah.
Maybe that was me. I've never seen the whole cartoon Snow White. It got scary.
That's crazy.
That's crazy that I haven't seen all of it.
It's crazy that you've never watched Snow White.
I watched half
I've
of
actually
it,
never
and then
watched
she
it
turned
either.
into an evil witch, and she poisoned our hero. And I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
out.
like an hour in.
Yeah, I was out.
I keep trying to watch Snow White, but there's no Quee in any of it, and
Oh,
so
that was me.
I'm like,
I played the dopey equivalent in a distinctive "Don't Sue Us" Disney version. Yep, I
a
played
public
Queen.
domain version of Snow White. Me and you were in that in high school, and
Were you the,
I'm just
the
hoping.
hunter?
I was the huntsman.
Huntsman, like Thor.
That was my name.
Well, Kia,
Quee...
you'll be glad to know that in this 2025 movie, the huntsman is black.
Oh.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I'm into that.
Because of woke, we have to have a black huntsman.
Hey, we don't have to have. We can
Get to
have.
have.
We get to have. Yeah.
That's true. You're right. I take back this joke bit.
No, Vince was a public domain dwarf named Quee, who was definitely the dopey of the group.
Yep.
And I will never forget it. It was my favorite Vince role, I think, of all time.
I will never forget you having to vamp because one of our friends forgot his cue in Snow White. So yeah, that was clearly like, I mean, that was what,
that
26
Brandon?
Yeah, it was Brandon.
Wow.
And you had to vamp, and you were like, "You're a very evil queen" or something. You had to like vamp, and then he just came in like, "Sorry, I was tying up my horse." And I'll never forget that. Whenever people talk about like forgetting their entrances, I immediately go back to you. Vamping during a high school production of Snow White for children in 1999.
I've forgotten that completely, and it's all coming back to me now. Oh, God. Yeah, that definitely happened.
We probably have a tape. You probably
have a tape. It is on film for sure. It exists somewhere. Yeah. I might have to watch that soon. Good times. Good times. We'll do... Hey, Chris, have y'all ever considered doing a filmed version of a high school production for the Your Stupid Minds podcast?
I feel like that might be punching down.
It might be.
Well, children loved it. There's a 50-50 chance it's better than the Disney Snow White.
Well, no, we did it for kids at like middle schools or elementary schools or something, and they drew us pictures.
Yeah, it was cute.
People drew pictures of you and me. Yeah. How sweet is that? Oh my God. All right, Vince, what do you got to plug?
I've got nothing to plug. I feel like I wasted my plugs plugging a high school production from 26 years ago that you can't go see. So
you didn't waste it. Don't worry.
That was also our Thanksgiving show because it was back when schools had made kids go to school during Thanksgiving week. So
you are definitely correct about that.
That is true. And we played 007 Nightfire on the PS2 in the dressing room.
Wow.
What a time to be alive.
Well, I'm going to plug Ernest and the Dreamstone, which was a Ernest comic book that existed. I Googled it earlier and I didn't say anything. It was on Kickstarter. Ernest and the Dreamstone. I don't know if it happened yet, but the Kickstarter happened for it. So we'll see if you got to go to ernestgoestocomics.com to... Oh, it doesn't support a secure connection, so I'm not going to check it out. I don't know what's going on there. It's a website I don't trust. But if you like Ernest and you trust him, maybe go to that website and see what's going on there. And maybe you'll read an Ernest comic. Maybe you'll watch an Ernest movie. That's all my plugs. The listeners come last. Sorry. Vince, I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Chris, I love you.
Plorp.
Plorp? What does that mean? I'm not on a translating box. I gotta pay attention to like the inflection to be like, if you say plorp one way, it means I love you. If say another way, it means I hate you.
Yep, it's like the Hawaiians.
Like the Hawaiians. Plorp. Aloha. A plorpa. Listener, we love you too. Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.